Well, I want to thank Richard for inviting us to be here for this very important Movement Without Borders events. The various artists, dancers, musicians, people that speak, it's very powerful. You never know what one person or one act is going to make a difference.
My original program became something new, and most of the work is new for it. There's maybe one piece that had been done in 2018, but you'll see in the program 2021. So that was sort of, that flowed in a way. The difficulty was having 30 artists and coordinating. Originally I was at the Tenement Museum, and that didn't happen, and finding the new space and then realizing how perfect Judson is. So these were all challenges.
I am here because I think this work spoke to Richard in terms of the topic. Out of all of my other works, the topic is kind of about borders, but it's really just about kinship, I think, and relating, and that borders are a difficult topic, but that, you know, if it's not about ignoring them, but it's about kind of not seeing them. Yeah, I think I have a really good teacher in my family. They're all immigrants, and they all arrived in Chicago, and when I say my family, I'm talking about like chosen family. Like as immigrants, people create new families in the place where they arrive and live and create a new life. And my family is a huge network of many different groups of immigrants who arrived in Chicago in the 80s, and they all happen to live in the same building.
Es un privilegio estar aquí en Nueva York en este festival, en este evento específicamente, donde mi participación es cómo romper con los estereotipos de esta forma de colaborar entre fronteras, romper fronteras en el arte. Básicamente es eso. Richard me invitó 2 años antes de que iniciara la pandemia para colaborar específicamente en crear una performance donde la mixtura de procesos del arte contemporáneo con lo que se significa nuestro origen, nuestra identidad, fue uno como de los propósitos principales para poder estar aquí. Al empezar como a hacer un discurso del estar aquí específicamente sobre el evento, creo que hablar de la migración y de la zona transfronteriza se vuelve algo muy amplio, ¿no? Me parece algo muy importante que es trastocar esta frase que es: el arte no es para educar, sino es para humanizar.
Immigration is part of my life in every single way, and I see how fellow immigrants suffer in many different ways, and you know, this situation where we have second-class citizens or third-class citizens or invisible citizens in the case of undocumented people who contribute so much to the economy of the country.
Soy el fundador de Ángeles de la Frontera, que lo fundé en 1986. El enfoque es salvando la vida de migrantes. Pero hace un par de años, en 2019, hubo un incidente muy feo en San Diego. Una persona que es un racista mató a una mujer judía en San Diego. Yo dije, basta, tenemos que hacer algo. Tenemos que cambiar lo que está pasando. Por eso hice una campaña muy grande para que la gente votara y que tuviéramos un cambio en Washington. Y dije que con Gente Unida podemos promover que el amor no tiene fronteras, especialmente los niños. Entonces, este año estamos enfocados en ir a los albergues, ver que estén tratados con dignidad, con respeto, que no haya muertes en la custodia de patrulla fronteriza.
La pieza se llama Iridicente, es la continuación, es el epílogo a un solo que hice con Ralph Lemon y Vicky Chic, coreógrafos de aquí. Siempre me quedaron estas ganas como de indagar, de excavar en mi cuerpo, en las memorias de mi cuerpo antes de haber entrenado como bailarina, antes de haber emigrado. Y bueno, en esta indagación empecé a recuperar ciertos pasos que tienen que ver con el caminar, ahondar en la caminata. Además la caminata es lo que se usa, ¿no?, como para emigrar, migrar. Es el paso básico y de ahí se van como estableciendo ciertos ritmos que recuerdo de mis abuelos o de familiares o de bailar en las casas, en patios y también en calles de tierra.
Such a response. There's such a feeling of need now for artists to connect and to connect to the society and what it means to be an artist and the responsibility. And that we can bring, you asked about the arts, and wherever creativity and imagination is needed, you're talking about the arts. And this is a moment in America where we have to imagine a different America, and art can show that difference. Art can show both the harmony, it can show the struggle to the harmony, it can show the dream. So I think of art as a fundamental tool of social justice.
Antonio, in addition to being an amazing composer and musician, is an activist. And particularly in the last 5 years, when there was this massive amount of jingoist, anti-immigrant rhetoric, especially the dehumanization of Mexican immigrants to the U.S., Antonio stood up and said, "This is just craziness." And he released a record he called Bad Hombre, intentionally, to make the point. And so, you know, I admire him not only for his music, but his ferocity and his willingness to take a stand. And I can tell you, he is one of the finest drummers of his generation. You're going to be 60 feet away. So soak it up. Count your blessings. This is one of the great drummers of his generation. Please welcome Antonio Sanchez.